No, like Andy said, my name's Simon, this is Dave. We're both studying graphic communication at NUCA in our third year. And we're just going to talk about one of the projects that we've got going on at the moment, which is basically based around the lecture series that we've got going on at the moment. Like Andy said, we've had some really fantastic speakers. We've had Phil Clandil and Steve Milbourne from Foam, James Greenfield from Airside, Antti Huntington from Berg. And it's great because they get to come and kind of share some of the projects they're doing, which really helps sort of inspire us, and also give us kind of an idea of what kind of projects are out there and what kind of stuff we should be aiming to do, really. So we've all found them really, really helpful. And usually the format follows after the talk. We'll sort of break down into a questions and answers section, and students have got a chance to kind of take the discussion further, maybe ask sort of more questions tailored to their projects and that kind of thing. What we decided to do is start actually filming these questions and answer sessions, and this gives a chance for students to refer back to the talks a bit later on, and kind of help with their research and with their actual current projects. And yeah, so initially we had these series of films that we'd done, and we wanted to put them somewhere, and we didn't really want to just sort of put them on a Vimeo channel because they're just sort of up there and no one's really talking about it. What we really want to do is kind of create a bit of a buzz around this lecture series because it's what we think is really good, and like we said, there's a lot of great speakers, and I feel like some of the students kind of, I don't know, they're sort of a bit unaware of maybe what's coming up next, and we just want to get people talking about it.
Really, use existing channels like Twitter and all of these social networking sites and somehow funnel them all together and make this a more exciting sort of procedure for all of the people involved and get people talking about it before, after and during. So pretty much the question we asked ourselves was how can students get the most out of the lectures, and obviously now, as Andy has just told you, how can we extend that to people in the area. So we decided the best thing to do is to create a website, as Simon has mentioned, and in order to create the website we need to create a bit of an identity around it. So we decided to call it Talk, as it's pretty much, you know, it's kind of everyone says, are you going to the talk, have you been to the talk, etc, etc. And it also meant that we could include it in Twitter conversations and hashtags and all that sort of thing. So it lends itself quite well to the vocabulary and the sort of areas that we're going to be talking about the work.
And currently the only sort of communication students have amongst each other, other than talking, is through the forums which are on our university website, but they haven't taken off so much, probably not as much as our tutors would have liked, just because they don't really feel that organic and they kind of just feel a bit sort of static and dead. Sorry, Andy. Tearing them apart.
So I'm just going to sort of take you through, give you a bit of an idea of the layout of the site, and it gives you an idea of the content that we've got and the way that it's going to be going. And again, this is a work in progress, so you can give us any feedback on this. Right. On the right-hand side here, you've got the Twitter feed, which is something that will be constantly updating and refilling itself with sort of tweets before, after and during the talk. Again, encouraging tweets from people outside, people who can't make it, which allows us to give some feedback and allows us to actually sort of let you know what's happening at the same time and give you answers to your questions. So the talk section, everything's
very washed out on the
should have thought about
the presentation there.
Which is a bit of a pain, but basically you've got all of the speakers there, so it's just direct access to the content. The students will be able to go straight to the talk, the speaker that they're looking for. Tony Brook there looking really big.
Yeah, I think the colours from on the screen have kind of
never mind.
Killed what we.
The talk section will give us an opportunity to host the video content that we've got, and the people who would be able to students will be able to write a bit of a review about the talk themselves, give them their own personal information about what they found that was good about it, what they didn't enjoy about it. Sort of start that discussion going. There you go. You can see it a little bit better now. So again, speaker profiles, it allows us to put on a bit more information about who the speaker is, because one of the things, people need to come to the lecture a bit prepared, with a bit of information already about who it is that's going to be talking.
Otherwise the questions just seem to be all about kind of, oh, how can we make our portfolios good? Which is a fine question to ask, but it would be awesome if we had kind of a bit of background information, then we can make our questions more appropriate and more exciting to, you know, who we've actually got in talking.
Yeah. And then again, having a blog in order to host content that they come to the talks with. So if they show us a video of their own work, we can put it up there and people will be able to have a look at what they've been doing. And also posting up work beforehand, again, to encourage that discussion and to get people sort of interested in the content that they're going to be seeing when they come to the talk. And then resources, again, there'll be where we'll be able to download further content, so you'll be able to download sort of the talks rather, or PDFs or anything in terms of transcripts that people have written about the videos.
Often the speakers will sort of recommend books and that kind of thing, so this will be a place where those links can be well, sort of linked in here, the books they've been talking about, that kind of thing.
Yeah. In terms of taking it further, we need to do things like create posters in order to promote the events further, take it into the physical realm, because obviously we've got a lot of digital examples there. We want to build the website and probably sort out the colour of the background so that it's not quite so bright.
We'd probably need someone to sort of host it and constantly update it, because what we don't want is just to create a website and then that ends up just sticking there and it's kind of something to reference. We want it to be something that's constantly updated, you know, with the relevant information as to what's happening.
Yeah, and then basically we just need to turn it into something that we can also pass on to students, because obviously once we've left, we still want this to be a running project and something that more students can have a bit more input into and keep it going. And, you know, physical output, so maybe creating books and things that we can sell in order to gain a bit of money so that we can actually try and bring in some speakers ourselves for people who we think are interesting. So it's just, how can we turn what is just a lecture series into something that covers multiple platforms and gets people engaged? And that's just what we're trying to do. And that is everything. Yeah. Thank you very much for your time.